Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash the like button the way that female high school teachers smash their students, so this video reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number one, some people are advocating for us to bring back stay-at-home daughters. Instead of sending them to college at age 18, they should just stay at home. Well, that's one way to reduce the risks of women riding the rooster roller coaster and having higher notch counts. Because these days the main thing that college creates is used up women. Unfortunately, these days women need college degrees because 80% of men today can't support a family on their only one income. Up next, someone asks, "Dear billionaires, what's stopping you from commissioning buildings like this?" It's probably because they're too busy building yachts instead. Most of today's billionaires, especially the techie ones, don't really have an appreciation for beauty, because they spend most of their lives destroying it. They tend to live in minimalist monstrosities that terrible architects design instead of going out there and buying a castle like this. Number three, someone asks, "Isn't it femsplaining when feminists lecture men about mansplaining?" Well, technically what they're doing is womansplaining. Whoever made this needs to be more careful because you can't point out the contradictions of feminism, because doing so is considered hateful. Actually, I don't think it should be called womansplaining. It's more akin to women interrupting. Remember that men wouldn't have to mansplain if women would just woman understand. Moving on, in the wise words of Clint Eastwood, if it has tits or tires, it's going to give you trouble. Obviously, most men out there are gluttons for punishment. I think that the guy in the Coldplay concert missed this memo. I would also add that they're trouble if they come with tails. I am of course referring to keeping your animals alive at the vet. I prefer the other saying that says that if it flies, floats, or fucks, it's cheaper to rent it instead of purchasing it. Number five, some people are calling for a stop for the Islamization of Europe. It will have to happen at some point. I don't think the true words have ever been spoken that if you're weak, your land will eventually become Muslim. Here's the difference between Europe in the 11th century and Europe today. In my wildest dreams, I'm hoping we build starships and start colonizing the universe. But you know that Islam would try and spread to the stars as well and still try and Islamize everyone else. Up next, this is published in 2016, basically saying that it's 2030. And you will own nothing and be happy. Also that you'll have no privacy, and in the UK and Australia they're now forcing people to give up their IDs to use the internet. This is probably predictive programming. The elites always tell you what they're going to do well ahead of time so you can prepare to protect yourself. The internet used to be an escape from reality. These days reality is an escape from the internet. Number 7, looks like Rosie O'Donnell isn't aging all that well. Looks like she needs that red light therapy. True story. I was once doing a video job at the Toronto International Film Festival, and Michael Moore would just show up at the red carpets for photo ops and then just leave in a big black SUV without giving anyone any attention. He just wanted to be seen and photographed and wouldn't stop for anyone. And to think I used to respect him because he made Bowling for Columbine in his 90s TV show. Moving on, a couple were watching this film and the wife says it's terrible because an AI robot wants to replace the guy's wife and have sex with him. The husband seemingly agrees with her, but we all know that he wouldn't complain if the scenario was happening to him. Most men would rather have a love robot instead of a woman that nags them all day. The only problem I saw with this film is that she also tried to end his kids. Otherwise, she's perfect. Number 9, all the ladies out there need to understand that men don't like septum rings, so they need to stop getting them. Women will say they don't care, but in reality they do care because no Chad would ever want to touch them with one of these in their nose. Then again, on second thought, maybe women should get them because it helps us identify the ones that are mentally ill. Yes, nose rings are unattractive, but still not nearly as unattractive as this. Up next, someone says that it would be everyone's dream if a bunch of friends all bought houses on the same street. Yeah, it'd be fun for about a month or two before turning into a nightmare scenario. Sounds like a great idea for reality television shows or Hollywood films that might actually be pretty good. It might make a great horror film. Also, this isn't very realistic for another reason because who has this many friends in this day and age? Then again, it might actually work if they put up some fences. Number 11, in this world where celebrities end up turning crazy or fat, we definitely need to thank Hilary Duff for not choosing to go in that direction. We should thank her parents for not allowing her to be molested by Hollyweird. She also seems to be the only Disney kid out there that turned out to be normal. Just look at Britney Spears for a bad scenario. But what I really wanted to be thankful for is this. That thing looks like we could bounce bowling balls off of it no problem. Moving on, here's what it's like when your wife randomly gets the perfect license plate. This one says NAG 365. But the funniest part about all of this is that someone married a woman in Minnesota. You know, you're toast in that lefty hellhole if you ever get divorced. Then again, on second thought, I don't think this is a random plate. I think it's a very well planned operation. The nursing scrub uniform also pretty much checks out. You just know that guy's life is absolute hell. Number 13, here's an article where women share the moment they realize they're invisible to men after 40. Once their fertility window closes, that's men's cue to start ignoring them. Also, do you want to know which women aren't invisible after 40? The ones that stayed loyal to their husbands and focused on raising a family. They'll have some level of attention for the rest of their lives. The other ones will have attention from cats and simps if they're lucky. Up next, here's Celine Dion age 14 with her future husband then, who was 39. If you're a single guy in his 40s, you just need to be patient because your wife is probably just finishing up high school right now. But what I want to know is, did he smash her back then? Probably yes, because back then the age of consent in Canada was only 14. Today it's 16. You know what they say in that part of the world where there's sand and oil. If you're old enough to bleed, then you're old enough to breed. Number 15, ladies and gentlemen, this is Napoleon Bonaparte. What he looked like in the paintings is just an artistic license. Looks like we was emperors and military geniuses in sheet. When you have a culture of your own that's never accomplished anything great, then you go out and try and steal other people's culture out of envy and resentment. What's really sad is that he actually believes it, and he also misspelled his name. I honestly don't think we would get this one on the We Wassery bingo card. Moving on, at least it looks like we have one decent thing to look forward to in the new Avengers Doomsday film, with Rebecca Romijn coming back as Mystique. She says it takes 7 hours of makeup to get into character, but I think they should just post 7 hours of her getting her makeup done, and it would probably get more views than the movie itself. Also, she's 50 now, so I hope that most of you aren't dumb enough to think that this picture is of her right now. Number 17, for the first time ever, women over 40 are having more babies than teen moms. Looks like we finally solved the teen pregnancy crisis and replaced it with the geriatric pregnancy crisis instead. Full of downy babies, too. Plus a whole bunch of other health complications. But at least they're having kids or our populations would collapse even quicker. The birth control pill is the biggest experiment in human history, and has the potential to doom our species. Up next, this guy says that if you learn to control your lust, you realize that 90% of women are boring. Actually, it's closer to 99.9%. But who's counting? I miss having a boring partner for 10 years because it was the most peaceful relationship period of my life. The rest were all filled with drama and deception. So boring isn't always that bad. Besides, most men can actually control their lust, they just don't usually have a reason to. Number 19, we just need to leave kids alone. This dad won full custody of his son after the mother tried to raise him non-binary by forcing him to wear dresses and put on makeup. It's usually the moms that are turning all the kids trans these days. That's why many of them have gender dysphoria in the first place. To further prevent that, the dad needs to give his son a crew cut and get him out of California. I hope the mom was charged with child abuse. Moving on, meanwhile in the UK, things keep getting crazier and crazier. The Welsh government says that dog-free zones need to be made outdoors so that the country is less racist. It's a deal, but only if they actually have Muslim-free zones too. This is basically reverse assimilation. Instead of Muslims coming to the UK and assimilating into the culture, the country wants to get its own citizens to assimilate to the new arrivals. Pure insanity. Number 21, why is it when you tell a smoker it's unhealthy, nobody cares? But when you tell a fat person that being big is unhealthy, everyone loses their minds. After all, obesity is heavily linked to cancer. I think one of the reasons there are more fat people out there these days is because less people smoke. A lot of people today don't realize that cigarettes are an appetite suppressant. Maybe instead of telling fat people to lose weight, we just start handing them cigarettes. Up next, Gigi is puzzled about how guys think a vagine gets looser after smashing 50 different guys, instead of just one guy 50 times. This is just body count damage control. One of those 50 guys is probably a monster that's going to stretch around with his giant eggplant. There's a big difference between a used car with one owner and 50,000 miles, versus a car with the same mileage with 10 different owners. I think we all know which one is in better shape. Number 23 looks like Pedro Pascal has great genes, and so does Sydney Sweeney's doppelganger here. Then again, he's a true menace. He's everywhere for some reason, and I bet the left hates her, because soon she will be found everywhere as well. AI for some reason makes them look like they're joined together. The only reason the left hates her so much is because women that vote Democrat see her and other women like her as competition for their cooch. Moving on, Pixar's new movie just lost over $125 million. It's about a queer 11-year-old boy named Elio. At this point, it's obvious that they aren't after profits. They're just trying to promote their agenda. People say he's queer because of the way he's sitting. Meanwhile, in the film, the kid gets abducted by aliens because he doesn't feel like he belongs because his parents are dead. The film also isn't woke either. It was probably just really bad. Number 25 and the last one, Whoa Nelly. This woman was arrested for getting child support from 8 different men for the same kid over 6 years. That's $50,000 worth of child support. The system needs to be reformed and some officials need to go to jail. But we all know they won't. This picture is also in South Africa. What I'm more shocked and surprised about is that they were organized enough to even catch her in the first place. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal subscribe star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.